Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Wrestling Hypothesis podcast, where we break the hype, expose the truth, and speak for the fans for the business that we truly know how it really is. Because if you ain't talking, I ain't watching. I'm your boy Ricardo. Hopefully, glad to see you guys once again for another episode. Like, comment, subscribe here on YouTube, and follow me on TikTok and on Instagram. Right. So we already know that Saturday Night Live main event is coming up this weekend. And we got three big time championship matches for the WWE Championship between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre, CM Punk and Jey Uso for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship, and Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the women's title. Now, despite those three matches are very, very crucial for the Saturday Night Live main event as the show, I actually want to speak about the show, Saturday Night Live main event. And let's be real about something here. Fans are tired of the bullshit episodes that we got on Saturday Night Live main event for the past few months as of late. Now, the fact of the reason why I say this is that like us as fans feel like main event feels like filler episodes. Like on an anime show like on Naruto or on One Piece or on Dragon Ball Z, or so to speak. What the fans really want for the WWE universe, we want impact. We want the stakes. We want to see moments or WWE to make moments to say like, yo, we did not see that shit come. We was like, holy shit. It has to be to a point where the stories happening at Saturday Night Live main event explode to the point is it continues on to the next pay-per-view / PLE, which is Survivor Series. And whatever happens at Saturday Night Live main event, it could be a myriad of things. It could be a return. It could be a betrayal. It could be a mix of both. It could be something controversial. Something like that gets the story going onward to the next pay-per-view and beyond. Because the fact that Survivor Series is the last pay-per-view happening in 2025, this show right here, Saturday Night Live main event, this weekend on November 1st, is the most important show that WWE has for themselves of this year. And it all starts with those three championship matches that I brought up earlier that we will speak about. Now, let's speak about the WWE Championship match between Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes. Now, for Drew McIntyre, it is time for Drew McIntyre to become the new WWE champion. This man has been clawing his way back to the top since the pandemic. And it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when this man, Drew McIntyre, becomes WWE champion. Because let me tell you something right now. Storyline wise, Drew McIntyre fits everything perfectly to a T. This man has worked with Seth Rollins, Damian Priest, CM Punk. And every rivalry that this man has been in, that rivalry was must-see television. That rivalry makes us pay attention to the television screens or on our laptop or on our phones to watch his matches from start to finish, no matter the outcome. Drew McIntyre has the momentum, the fan investment. He has everything that we want in a superstar, but most importantly, this is his redemption arc to get back to the top. And that is him to win the WWE Championship from Cody Rhodes. You could feel the frustration. You could feel his promos. You could feel the burning sensation of him wanting to become the WWE Championship. And he wants to be champion so bad because he knows that we know as fans, Cody Rhodes ain't doing enough. Cody Rhodes is just holding the championship down, just holding it down as quote unquote what Triple H says he's the top guy in the WWE, but in reality, he's really not. He doesn't fit everything that it needs to be for him to be a WWE champion. I don't I can't invest in Cody Rhodes just because he has a great theme song and he's a solid wrestler. I don't feel the momentum that I get from Drew McIntyre that I don't feel the momentum that I could get from Cody Rhodes. I don't feel that. There's no story of him being a WWE champion that I could get behind him. It's just Cody Rhodes holding the WWE championship until further notice, as far as I'm concerned. That's how I look at it, right? Because with Drew McIntyre, It's something that us fans, we could get behind on. And I personally feel like this will happen. And I believe this will happen to a point where it will make us become more invested for the WWE. And this makes my point about Saturday Night Live main event being important. Put this in your mind. Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre are fighting one-on-one for the championship. And predictability, 100%. If this was FanDuel, you could bet your money on it and you'll make bank that the referee is going to get knocked out. That happens in every Cody Rhodes match, right? And with the match going on, you got Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. The ref is knocked out. And Drew McIntyre will win the WWE champion because of one man. His name is Randy Orton. Randy Orton can possibly screw Cody Rhodes to make Drew McIntyre the new WWE champion. And when Drew McIntyre finally wins the WWE championship in front of a live crowd this time, because that's one of the things that he's been wanting for so long. Because the last time he truly won the WWE championship, it was during COVID. There was no fans, no one to celebrate it with, nobody at all. But when he wins the WWE championship against Cody Rhodes, it'll be justice for him. It'll be redemption for him. The desperation of him wanting to become WWE champion once again he will lavish it, and he will do it by any means necessary. And it will take Randy Orton to come in, screw Cody Rhodes, and it will begin the storyline with Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton going onward to WrestleMania. You kill two birds with one stone by making that one move. And that's what I mean by also Saturday Night Live main event must be. Developing stories onward to the next pay-per-view. With Drew McIntyre becoming WWE champion once again, and a brand new developing rivalry with Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, arguably onward to WrestleMania. And with that being said, with Drew McIntyre winning the WWE championship, he's not just fighting for gold. He's fighting for a legacy that he wants to achieve for himself for the WWE, and him as being a main eventer for the WWE, but not just for him, but for the people. And everybody else knows it. Drew McIntyre will win the WWE championship. Now, on to Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton. Now, with Jade Cargill, let's keep it a stack, fans. Jade Cargill's winning the women's championship without a shadow of a doubt. No question. Because Jade Cargill is a woman that is trying to redefine dominance back in the WWE. She's a powerhouse. She's a box office attraction. And it's not just a prediction or a spoiler. I always have trouble saying that word. But it's a guarantee that she will win the women's championship. Ever since Jade Cargill walked into the WWE, it wasn't like she was a rookie to try to find herself in WWE. When she walked into the WWE, she knew who the fuck she was. She carried herself like a superstar and a main eventer the second she walked into the WWE. As soon as she came into a WWE, we already knew she was a main event attraction based on what she's done so far in AEW. But based on her look, her presence, her demeanor, the fans could get around that. And fans could get behind her of a woman that means business. And the fact that she just turned heel. Fans could be more invested into her character development and of her being a heel. And the fact of the matter is, not just for her becoming a heel, but when she wins the women's championship, the women's division on SmackDown will be surrounded around her. Let's be clear, the WWE's women's division is stacked on SmackDown. You got Bianca Belair, you got Tiffany Stratton, you got Charlotte Flair, you got Liv Morgan, you got Julia, you got you got Chelsea Green. You have a boatload of females to work with Jade Cargill for the women's championship. And when she becomes the women's champion at Saturday Night Live main event, I'm telling you right now, When she wins, I bet you that Bianca Belair will return that day and will set the stage of a possible WrestleMania match for the Women's Championship between Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. I've been clamoring for Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair to go one-on-one ever since Jade Cargill made her debut in the WWE. The second she made her debut in the WWE, Bianca Belair was the first person I thought of immediately for her to face. And with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, two box office attractions, both main event superstars that people could get behind of. We have not have felt a more box office attraction and a main event feel for the women's division for that long since Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair back at WrestleMania, in which they main evented the show. If Triple H plays his cards right with Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, a legitimate argument can be made. Both women can main event WrestleMania. Straight up. For Tiffany Stratton, I can see her as a mid-carder. She could do her thing. She's a bona fide wrestler, but your time is over as women's champion. I'm sorry. Like, it's done. Like, you just like Beyonce says, to the left, you got to go. It's Jade Cargill's time, right? And WWE and the fans know it. Once Jade Cargill becomes women's champion, oh, it's on like Donkey Kong up in here in the women's division on SmackDown. SmackDown will become much more of an entertaining show with Jade Cargill being the new women's champion. Now, to CM Punk and Jey Uso. Now, CM Punk and Jey Uso are very interesting. They're very interesting because they're both two relatable superstars that fans could get behind of. Like, let's start with CM Punk. CM Punk, we respect his name, the legacy, the pipe bombs, the impact, and everything. But as of right now, he doesn't deserve the World Heavyweight Championship. The run that he's on right now, it's not about holding a championship. And I don't think him holding the World Heavyweight Championship for himself is the right move. I don't think he deserves it. Because the way it is right now for himself, it's about writing his final chapter. It's not about the World Heavyweight Championship. He's proving to see if he could still hang with today's talent in the WWE. He is actually here to tell a story. He's not here to win the World Heavyweight Championship. He is not here to start a new era. He's only here to see on how long he's got left. He actually admitted that himself not that long ago in terms of seeing, because he's knocking on the door that Father Time is kicking in real soon. And think about retirement. So for him to try to win the World Heavyweight Championship, it is not the right time for him to become champion. Because, like I said, he doesn't deserve it due to the fact that the current state is going on in the WWE. Specifically on the Raw roster. And I could say the same thing about Jey Uso. Jey Uso, his story has been amazing. He went from main eventing with the Bloodline, being with Roman Reigns, breaking free from the Bloodline, and then winning the World Heavyweight Championship from Gunther this past WrestleMania. Jey Uso became one of the most beloved superstars in WWE, and he's honestly the heart and soul of WWE and the whole roster, to be honest with you. But Jay's story is about a matter of redemption and individuality, but it's not about being the top champion. For him, the way he views it, he wants to make his own lane by trying to recapture the World Heavyweight Championship. But the fact of the matter is, in reality, it's not about him winning the World Heavyweight Championship. It's about him building a legacy for himself. And that's something Jey Uso, the character, doesn't realize. It's very, very similar to Jeff Hardy. When Jeff Hardy did his own thing outside of the Hardy Boys, he created a legacy for himself by facing so many box office superstars like Triple H, Punk, Edge, Taker, to just to name a few, that he created a legacy that revolutionized what the Hardy Boys is about. And for himself as Jeff Hardy, the individual superstar on what he was, as one of the most beloved superstars of all time in WWE. For CM Punk and Jey Uso, these two men both have massive fan support. on both sides. But the fact of the matter is, it's not about them. It's about the World Heavyweight Championship. CM Punk and Jey Uso are not in the the how can I say this? They're not in the predicament in terms of winning the World Heavyweight Championship. The predicament is long-term booking is clear for WWE. That's their main prerogative. The company right now is in a building phase in terms of bringing up the next era of champions. That is not Jey Uso. That is not CM Punk. That is Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker deserves to be the world heavyweight champion. And coming up at Saturday Night Live main event, I believe that he will invade that match and interrupt it entirely. He will interrupt it entirely to a point there'll be no winner. There'll be no winner of CM Punk versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship due to the fact that Braun Breaker will intervene and mess up the entire match up for both men. It will mess up the match for both men leading up to a match either in Boston or in Madison Square Garden for a triple threat match to determine the World Heavyweight Champion. To see on who is the best man who is rightfully fit to become the World Heavyweight Champion. And I know, you know, and everyone and their mama knows that will belong to Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker will become the World Heavyweight Champion. Not Jey Uso, not CM Punk, Braun Breaker. And for CM Punk and Jey Uso, it's not about winning the World Heavyweight Championship. Sometimes being the biggest contribution to a superstar is the biggest contribution to a superstar is that a superstar isn't about holding the championship. It's building the moment that defines it's the moment that builds it. And the fact of the matter is, neither of them are in a predicament to do that right now. It's all about developing for the next generation. And for the next generation, Braun Breaker is the right man for the job to become the World Heavyweight Championship. But that was Wrestling Hypothesis Podcast. I'm glad you was able to listen. With a podcast that we're able to break the hype, expose the truth, and speak for fans that knows what the business truly is. Because you guys know, if you ain't talking, I ain't watching. I'm your boy Ricardo. Like, comment, subscribe. I really love to hear your comments about that. And I'll see you soon. Peace.